What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Okay, guys, so we are going to continue our coverage over the Destiny of X era of X-Men comics, where we actually do pick up right now with X-Men number 10. Now, when it comes to X-Men number 10, it's all about the idea of building towards the fall of X. Like right now, you have all these different kind of building blocks. And once all these blocks are built up, we'll then dive into the fall of X, which is the current era of X-Men comics. Now, with that being said, we actually do pick up right now with X-Men number 10. Now, when it comes to X-Men number 10, this is a Wolverine story. But it's not about Logan, it's about the other Wolverine. Because remember, when it comes to the main X-Men team at this point, Wolverine's not on it. Matter of fact, it's his clone, our daughter, which is Laura Kinney, who's right now the current Wolverine on the X-Men team. But this is her going on a rescue mission. Now, when it comes to this rescue mission, she does have to save a particular person, someone who used to be an enemy of the X-Men. And so getting into the opening pages of this book, we actually do pick up in the past. Now, we are not told how far in the past, but we do see the Five right now bringing Laura Kinney back to life. And remember, when it comes to the mutant nation, you have 5 mutants who have the ability to bring someone back to life. And really, they're just making a clone body for you and then downloading your memories into that new clone body. Either way, we do see Laura Kinney coming back to life. Unfortunately though, she comes back incorrectly. And what I mean by that is, when it came to Laura Kinney, the Five believed that all Wolverines have their complete skeletons covered in metal, adamantium. Now of course, Wolverine does, but not Laura Kinney. Only her claws were. But apparently her entire body, when she came back to life, is now covered in that metal. And it's the Five saying, oh, well, too late now. Welcome back to life. By the way though, your entire skeleton body is now covered in adamantium. And so that is the moment where we actually do jump over to Rogue. Now, when we do jump over to Rogue, we see her right now on Arakko. Now, the reason why she's on Arakko is because she is about to use a sniper that was made by Forge. Now, remember, when it comes to Arakko, it is another mutant island, but it is on Mars. Now, with that being said, the reason why Rogue is going to use this sniper that was made by Forge is because the sniper has the ability to scan an entire planet or to scan an entire moon. And that right there is actually very important. And the reason why, because now she is going to use a sniper to scan the entire moon of Mars. And the reason why, because of Orchid. Now remember, Orchid is a new group in X-Men comics. Well, at this point, they're honestly not that new anymore, but they are a newer group in X-Men comics that are right now trying to get rid of the mutant race. But Orchid had teamed up with another person known as Falong. And when it comes to Falong, he was able to turn the moon of Mars into an actual area where humans can go to and actually live on. Now, of course, we know this is actually a military base that is stationed right near Arakko. And so anytime where Orchid is ready to attack Arakko, they have the perfect position. And so right now, it's the X-Men trying to figure out what do they have on that military base. Now, that is the moment you have Wolverine realize that something with adamantium right now is moving. And of course, it is alive. Now, that right there is a problem because Wolverine's not there, neither is Laura. And right now, they're trying to figure out who else might have adamantium on their body, and right now being transported over to, of course, Falong and Orchid on the moon of Mars. And so this is technically right now Wolverine going on a solo mission. Now, the reason why she's going on this solo mission is because she wants to make sure that there's no way that Falong or Orchid was actually able to get their hands on a mutant that has adamantium on their body. Because if they do, then of course it gives Orchid something new to work with. But on top of that is her wondering if there is a possibility that another clone of her or another clone of Wolverine could technically be in the container that's right now being transported over to Orchid's new base on the moon of Mars. And so we do see her right now on this solo mission. Now, when it comes to Wolverine, on the entire X-Men team currently, she is the best person to send in on a solo mission like this because she can be very stealthy. Now, of course, when she's able to actually find the room and the container that's right now holding the person whose body is covered in adamantium, when she does open it up, that is the moment where she is attacked by someone that she has not seen in a little while. And of course, she found Lady Deathstrike. Now, Lady Deathstrike is an old X-Men character, but she's more of a Wolverine bad guy rather than an X-Men bad guy. Now, when it comes to Lady Deathstrike, she is technically a cyborg, half machine, half man. When it comes to her machine body, it usually is able to repair her body. But on top of that, her body or her machine body is technically covered in adamantium. Now, that is the reason why when it came to Wolverine, that is what she detected when it came to the sensors earlier saying, hey, Orchid's got their hand on someone who basically has adamantium on their body. It was Lady Deathstrike. Now here's the thing though, Lady Deathstrike did not come here on her own. She was technically tricked by someone else known as Dr. Stasis. Now we still have no idea who is exactly Dr. Stasis, but apparently he is a new bad guy right now, and apparently he was supposed to help Lady Deathstrike with her newest problem. And her newest problem right now is that her cyborg body is no longer able to repair her body. And the reason why, because the adamantium is actually poison to her body. And that is very huge when it comes to Wolverine and other characters like him, because the reason why they are able to actually get adamantium on their body is because of their healing factor. Without that healing factor, the adamantium will be poisoned to their body and basically kill them. And so when it comes to Lady Deathstrike right now, the adamantium is poisoned to her body. And so her cyborg body is now unable to continue to actually heal her body up. And this is where we see Wolverine right now kind of feel bad for Lady Deathstrike. And so that is the moment she says, you know what? Let me go ahead and get you out of here. Now, unfortunately for Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike, when they do try to leave, they are found by Furlong. And of course, he does try to kill them by basically opening up a secret passageway that will send them right into space, but hurl them right towards Mars. And so right now, Rogue has to catch them before they crash into Mars, because when they do crash into Mars, they are going to die. And of course, we do see Rogue being able to actually save both Wolverine and also Lady Deathstrike. But now we know who was on a spaceship that was heading towards the moon of Mars. It was Lady Deathstrike. And so after that, you then have Wolverine take Lady Deathstrike over to the treehouse, the main base for the X-Men team. Now with that being said though, when they do arrive at the treehouse, you do have Wolverine and the X-Men give Lady Deathstrike some medicine to kind of help fight against the poisoning that's right now going on in her body. Now with that being said though, you then have Cyclops remember what Wolverine said to him back in the first Hellfire event, where she said that technically she wanted to use her claws to help people, not kill people, if she does join the new X-Men team. And so right now, this is Cyclops saying, look at you. You are technically right now living up to your goal. You use your claws to help her, not kill her. And that right there is very, very important. Now, you do have Lady Deathstrike leave the treehouse. When she does leave, you can kind of tell that her and Wolverine are now on the same side. And so she's kind of like saying, I owe you one for saving my life. And so to close on this video, we actually do pick up right now with Rogue hanging out with Destiny, or actually saying goodbye to Destiny. Now remember, when it comes to Destiny, she's actually the stepmother to Rogue, along with Mystique, because the two characters actually adopted Rogue a while back. Now with that being said, we saw in the earlier books of X-Men's current run that right now Destiny does not like Gambit at all. And matter of fact, she's trying to tell Rogue to leave Gambit. Now, here's the thing though. Gambit and Rogue are actually married, but at the same time though, when it comes to Destiny, she can see the future. Now, when it comes to her powers though, her futures are not for sure. So for example, there are some times where what she can see is going to exactly happen, but at the same time though, some things she does see might not happen at all. But here's the thing, she says right now to Rogue that she sees a future where Rogue is going to be hurt by Gambit. And so with that, Rogue should go ahead and join her side and Mystique's side, because that is the best option. But at the same time though, a war is coming very soon. And when that war arrives, Rogue needs to be on the right side. Now, that is the moment where you do have Destiny tell Rogue, ask your husband about, of course, Game World. Because remember, when it comes to Game World, they were technically the main bad guys of the first couple books for the main X-Men series that's currently going on. But the problem is though, they couldn't find Game World. And apparently Gambit might know someone who might know where Game World is at. And so of course, you do have Destiny ask Rogue to ask Gambit about his friend who might know. And of course, that friend is Rocket Raccoon. Rocket Raccoon knows where Game World is at. And matter of fact, Rocket is right now on Game World. And this is where we are going to see the X-Men finally deal with the whole Game World situation. But this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.